What is a god? An accumulation of knowledge. In the emerald darkness, before the dawn of time, metabolizing microorganisms, little more than an enzyme. Growing ever larger, though smaller than a dot. Evolving and mutating, wasting not. Feeding all the time. High energy process, assimilating host that I digest. More than an amoeba, a burgeoning sentience. Oh, bacteria perfect us.
longer itself through mitosis of impersonation.
It's easy to infiltrate when only a single cell is all that is required to become the host itself. Until all are one.
Emerging from the wreckage, no form yet will I take, stretching out like a bull, lying seditiously in wait.
What new life is on this planet? Intelligent or rudimentary? It doesn't really matter in the long run. All experiences benefit me. It's easy to infiltrate when only a single cell is all that is required to become the host itself. Until all are one. Until all are one. Until all are one. Until all are one. And slowly they emerge to quench curiosity, looking upon the immense crater, a piece of planetary debris. They seem to communicate through oral vocabulary. Intelligent life is preferred. My cells touch preliminary. Until all are one. Until all are one. Until all are one. Until all are one. The town up north went quiet a month after the comet fell. The people who went to check weren't heard from again as well. So I was sent to scout it out, and I camped upon a hill overlooking the town below, but didn't know how to feel. Though nothing seemed wrong as I watched through the night, while people mulled and moved, I felt it wasn't right. Their movement seemed instinctive, like a choreographed parade. Nobody stopped or talked, like a routine charade. What was happening here? Why was I afraid? A cripple they took were like a puppets in a show. Same eyes.
She was like an infection.
magic was too complex, so she could wear our skin and sneak around in guise. The magic that flowed within, she could not reprise. Our people's natural mandate of magic like a flood proved hell couldn't duplicate what flows within the blood. What flows within the blood. Those who failed to produce the light were set upon relentlessly, and soon hell had no choice but fight as we responded tremendously. Our people's natural mandate of magic like a flood proved hell couldn't duplicate what flows within the blood. What flows within the blood. We drove her back and forced a confrontation. Once we sniffed out her morbid sparkling in the air, falling crystallized to the ground as the temperature fell there. I'd blink through space, human fools, where killing cold is vast. Do you really think discomfort is what will save you at last? Yet there's something different in this magic that they wield. I see a spectral lady floating above icy field. Tendrils lock painfully, a shadow and percussed. Frozen solid shards of flesh encased in diamond dust. Burning cold agony and horror and nonplussed. My pieces I can't control, encased in diamond dust. These soldiers were a sacrifice while summoners focused, harmonizing their energies to my specific locus. Arachnoid legs crumble down and burst apart like grass, intensifying jelly-cold, drilling so fast. I've dealt with nice and preserve, but the magic is not the same. My rapid regeneration next by frozen flame. Tendrils lock painfully in shadow and percussed. Frozen solid shards of flesh encased in diamond dust. Burning cold agony and horror I'm nonplussed. My pieces I can't control, encased in diamond dust. Since the dawn of time, no fear I felt, and yet is this my death? Chills right down to my leg of a soul, as long freezing my devised expeditiously, kept in this standing state, hibernated intentionally, researching my abilities one by one methodically.
Rotted, kept beside it, goddamn. at this skin. Yuck, so dry and dead, just like my hair. You need some Lumina Rejuvena.
Lumina Rejuvena? What's that?
Just the best skin enhancer in the market. Just wipe it on and your skin cells will instantly begin repairing themselves. Hair too.
I thought hair was dead already?
Not with Lumina Rejuvena. You'll look 20 years younger. Lumina Rejuvena, forever young.
From West Labs.
I can feel them. I can hear their thoughts. Listen how they quiet as they become me. Contained in steel. Did you think you could use me? That I'd consent to this deal? As I float in this tube of oil, thoughts doused dim by a cocktail of drugs. Like a serpent am I coiled, collecting information from these scientist thugs. Blood in ochre tubes, separate with centrifuge. Beating heart long since removed, cells packaged, purchased, consumed. Take, eat, this is my body, my blood, a delicious wine. Take, spread me like butter, for soon you will be mine. Soil is sown in arsenic, with cyanide does it grow. This body's not like turmeric. Awareness building slow. Senses flashing from millions, like lightning in the night. Cells surpassing resilience, adding to my might. Take my blood in ochre tubes, separate with centrifuge. Beating heart long since removed, cells packaged, purchased, consumed. Take, eat, this is my body, my blood, a delicious wine. Take, eat, spread me like butter, for soon you will be mine. Mine. Awareness has long escaped, forbidding me to infest. Human hubris knows no bounds, just a whisper, and you did the rest. pain.